Hi guys, welcome back to another video. Today it is the monthly update of Project Tin Pan and I've got some exciting updates. But before then, I do a little bit like a monthly roundup of something. And I want to do my monthly roundup this month of my favourite makeup items of right now for each category of makeup. There are a few categories I'm actually excluding because I don't really have a favourite. Then we've got a Project Tin Pan update, which includes 3 Project Tin Pan empties and 3 empties. So a lot of makeup's been finished this month. It's very exciting. I'm going to use a swap out and swap a new product in. Big update, but first things first, favourites. Let's go. Many of these you'll have seen me talk about before if you have watched videos, but I haven't really talked about some of these favourites for months, and I'm talking like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 months. Let's just get on with it. So the first thing that I have a favourite of is a primer. Now this is a new bottle. If you watch my empties, I think it was in February of this year or maybe in March, I finished a previous one for this and I bought a new one and I haven't yet opened it because I'm trying to finish up some other primers in my life. But this is my favourite primer. It's the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer. This makes your makeup just stay on your face. I absolutely adore it. So true favourite. I love how affordable it is. It's so easy to get, at least in the UK. Big fan, top tier. The next 2 favourites I'm going to say at the same time because they are basically one and the same. And it's a new favourite for both categories. And the old favourites I've always had in these categories still stand. But these are just my current, like, obsession favourites. And it's NARS. Obviously. It's the NARS Natural Radiant Longwear Foundation and then the Radiant Creamy Concealer. I freaking love these. I have to say very few of these products are on my face. A lot of what's on my face is Project Tin Pan, but these 2 products together, absolutely adore them. We all know the NARS Sheer Glow Foundation has been a favourite of mine for a very long time. I absolutely love NARS like base and face products. I mean, I love all NARS, to be honest. I think it's one of my favourite, like, always there brands, as in like I've loved it for like years and years and years and years. And these 2, they give you such good coverage, but they're not heavy. This is in the shade Mont Blanc and this is in the shade Light 2 Vanilla. And they've got a slightly different undertone to them, as you can see, but they look stunning. I absolutely love them. Big fan. So now I want to set it all down. Powders for me is a really hard one to have like a favourite for because I've got 2 favourites for very different reasons, and these have stayed as favourites for me for at least 2 years now. At least I think the setting powder's been out that long, but I've loved the setting powder since the day it came out, and then the loose powder has been a favourite of mine since university. So they are like long-standing favourites. The loose powder is the RCMA No Colour Powder. This is quite intense. Like, if you don't want a intense loose setting powder, then avoid this at all costs. But it's gonna sound really weird, I really love my powder to like stop my face feeling sticky. I want my powder to make my face feel like smooth and matte, and that is what this does. I do feel like you do need to spray a setting spray over the top of it, but it just does everything I want it to do and there's no flashback. So if you want a slightly more kind of like finely milled, not too intense, beautiful, look stunning powder, I freaking love my Vive Modern Powder Perfector, and this is in the shade Light. I think this might be my 6th. They're refillable, so it's the same container, just like with powder after powder after powder being put into it, because you can push the powder out there. I love these. These I love them for 2 very different reasons. This is what I want my face to like not transfer and be super like smooth, etc. And this is when I actually want my makeup to look really nice. So very different reasons, but I love them for their own reasons. I have to say this was the hardest thing to pick one of, and that is blush. I love blush like so much. It's my favourite category of makeup item at the moment and it has been for a while now. But if I had to pick one I would wear every day if I was going to have one, it's actually this. This is the Rose Ink Lip and Cheek colour in the shade Ophelia, and I have to say, mine is very well loved, but it's just such a beautiful everyday colour and it just looks so pretty on the skin. and the packaging is like adorable. They're just so easy. You know when like sometimes you just want a makeup item you can just like put on, not think about it too much, it looks beautiful, it stays there, you don't have to like, it's not so pigmented that you're like ah, but then it's not so unpigmented that like nothing is happening. Bronzer and highlighter, a little bit of an easier decision. I don't really have too many, and Vive. Vive is one of my favourite brands of the last sort of 12-24 months. I love it. I would say, like I said, NARS is my like old school ride or die favourite, and then Vive is my like of the last couple of years favourite. And my favourite bronzer is the Modern Bronzer Duo, which is hilarious because when I first tried this I absolutely hated it, but I don't know what it was, maybe there was a sheen on it, I'm not really sure, but now I absolutely adore it. And then this has to be the most used highlighter I think I've ever had. This is the Vive Bijou highlighter, and I mean, look at that. That is love usage. And I haven't used this in a while because I've got a highlighter in Project 10 pan, and I kind of miss it. I absolutely adore this highlighter. So these two, fan favourites. Quite easy decisions, didn't have to think about it too much. Another easy decision was eyeliner. My favourite black eyeliner is a bit of a rogue one. This is my brand called We Makeup, who are an Italian makeup brand. They're quite cheap, they're not the easiest to get hold of in the UK. They have a website, it delivers to the UK and everything, but I think you have to take a fair minimum spend to get free delivery. But I absolutely love this eyeliner. Their lipsticks are also pretty good, to be fair, but like this eyeliner, absolutely adore it. It's got like a super fine nib, but it also doesn't dry out really quickly, which is fundamentally what I really love about this. There's a lot of eyeliners that I've used and tried over the years. Benefit Royal Liner is especially bad at this, where it just dries up in a matter of seconds. Really annoying. But this is my second one. I love it. It lasts forever. It's super fine. It's super black. It doesn't really smudge. And then we get into two categories that, similar to blush, were quite a hard category to pick one of because I love so many different ones for very different reasons. The two categories that I'm not picking a favourite of is mascara because I don't really have one at the moment, and brows because I don't really have one at the moment. I'm using my Benefit brow pencil. I obviously love it, but is it like ride or die favourite? But then do I really have a ride or die favourite? I don't really know. So yeah, I'm skipping those two. But my favourite eyeshadow palette, if I had to pick one, is Vive again. This is the Vive Essential palette, and I have to say, unless obviously you don't like warm neutrals, to me this is just an essential palette. It has everything you want in it. It has like a bone colour to set, it has a black, it has a kind of shimmery light champagne-y colour, it has a couple of like warm mattes and a couple of shimmers. I mean, at the moment, how often do I use eyeshadow? I feel like I've like totally lost my love of it, which is quite sad, but if I had to pick one, it would be this. I mean, the usage is intense. And then lipstick. I mean, how can you pick one favourite lipstick? You just can't. But if I had to pick the lipstick that of the last however many weeks I just keep reaching for without even like thinking about it, I just like reach in, grab it, it's this, which actually isn't a lipstick, it's a lip oil. This is the Rare Beauty Tinted Lip Oil in the shade Serenity. And like, yeah, if I'm not thinking and I go into autopilot, this is the lip product that I pick up. And so therefore, surely it's the lip favourite. Like, it's so easy to wear. It's like, it's not like hydrating in the fact that it's like a replacement for a lip balm, but it's not drying. It's got like a nice kind of glossy look. It's not the longest lasting, but like, it's just so comfortable and easy to apply that I don't really care. Also, I tend to wear this with my lip liner, which is part of Project 10 pan, so I love it. I absolutely adore it. It's one of my favourites, and yeah, if I had to say I was reaching for one more than any other, it would be this. And then to finish the whole thing off, to set the whole thing down, you've got to have a setting spray. And my favourite setting spray, and it's been my favourite setting spray for a while, I wore it on my wedding day, and my wedding day was 34 degrees, and my makeup stayed on my face. Like, I don't know really how, well, I assume it was this, but like, I don't really know how. I bought out in the little like pouch of the wedding car, like top-up makeup, and never actually needed it. And it was this. This is the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Setting Spray. This is like the dupe of the primer, and I know e.l.f. make a dupe of this, I just haven't tried it yet. So this still stands to me as an absolute favourite. I think for me personally it replaces the Urban Decay setting spray. I do still absolutely love that, and in some ways I think that's probably a better setting spray for like long lasting makeup, but this just makes your face look really plump in the same time as making your makeup last longer, and so therefore it just looks stunning. I love it, it's a favourite. I mean, I've made pretty decent progress with my Hydro Grip setting spray. Love it, wouldn't change it for the world. The last favourite. So, the moment you've all been waiting for, Project 10 Pan. As I mentioned, there's a fair few finishes. As always, the finishes tend to be the base products because you use them way more frequently. I've also finished 3 products outside of Project 10 Pan, and I've made some pretty decent progress with most of the other products that are here. Let's go. So first things first, I'm gonna go in an order in which I would tend to use these Project 10 Pan products on my face. So the first one we've got is the Glossier Mango Balm.com Universal Skin Salve. I think I spoke about this last time. My opinion still stands the same. I love the product, I hate the scent. So I kind of am looking forward to finishing this, but I would buy another Glossier Balm.com, just not the mango flavour. That's some like decent progress considering it's one of those lip balms you need so little of. Next up is the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. Still stand by this, it's a nice primer. I have no like bad things to say about it. It's not a favourite, I don't think I'd rebuy it. I'm kind of looking forward to like trying something else, but I'm gonna keep using it because I'm making really good headway with it, and I actually just can't wait to see how long it takes me to use it. I mean, when I put this in Project 10 Pan, it was basically new, so I think I'm doing alright, and I'm gonna keep this in, and let's see next month where we're at. And now we get to some empties. So the first one, I did the very last usage of it on my face right now. So it is the foundation I'm currently using. It's the KVD Good Apple foundation. I mean, I had to like scrape the brush into the corner to get the last bit out. I like this foundation. Like you can see on my face, it's clearly a nice foundation. It looks nice. Coverage is not as amazing as I remember it being, but the coverage is really good. It's just quite heavy. Like you can feel you're wearing a foundation, and I don't really want a foundation in my life that I can like feel on my face. And when I compare how I feel about this to how I feel about this, it's like night and day. Like it's a good foundation. I wouldn't necessarily say I don't like it, but it's not like, yeah, it's not like a favourite, you know? So I'm quite happy to see the back of it. I'm quite happy to have this out of my collection because it's been in there for like kind of too long. So yeah, I'm happy to finish this, but it does mean I need a new foundation. But here's a curveball. All the other foundations that are in my like makeup stash, I pretty much bought at the same time. So there's none in there that I'm like desperate to use up. So I'm actually not going to replace this with another makeup item. I'm going to replace it with I guess there's 2 things I'm swapping out. So I'm going to replace it with another primer. I know, but it's a very different primer to the other one. So this is more like a base primer, like it's designed to just make your makeup on top sit better. I have so many like designed to be highlighting primers. Like I've got like a concerning number of them. I do think this one, which is the Anika one, which I do love, but I'm not putting this in Project 10 Pan because that'd be so uninteresting. I do think this is actually, I've had this for a while, and I've used a fair chunk of it to be fair, but I'm starting to wonder if it's actually still okay. What I do want to try and use is the Say Glowy Super Gel Star Glow. I've not actually used this. I got this in an advent calendar at Christmas, and because of this whole like Project 10 Pan thing, I just haven't even opened this. So this might not be a product I leave in Project 10 Pan forever, but I do want to try it at least. And I feel like putting it in here will allow me to like give it a go properly over a sustained period of time without feeling like guilty that I'm like abandoning my Project 10 Pan. So this is a swap in for the foundation because there's no need to like rush through any of the others at this point in time. So welcome to Project 10 Pan. Let's see how far we can use them. I mean, it's brand new, so the usage is not particularly apparent. The next empty, which I don't think will be a huge surprise, is the Maybelline Instant Eraser Multi-Use Concealer. I really don't like this concealer, like it's just really not my thing. The product itself is fine, like the concealer that's actually like in there, it's actually not a bad concealer, but the applicator, it just gives me like the creeps. Just gives me the creeps, okay? So the concealer I'm swapping this in with is a concealer I feel so on the fence about. Like if you've watched the vlog before this, you'll know that. But this is the Rare Beauty concealer in the shade 180W. Like I don't dislike it, I just don't love it. And my other two concealers, obviously one being the NARS and the other one being my Be Radiant Creamy Concealer, which I also love. This is the only concealer I'm like so on the fence about, and it just means I kind of want to finish it. It kind of makes me a little bit like sad to see it in there with like my other two ride or dies. So I'm gonna finish this up, see how far I can get through this in the next month, and hopefully this will be out of my collection. This one has been in here for absolute ever. This is the Merit Bronze Balm in the shade Clay. Like if I scroll this down, I've used quite a lot of it. I think I can also show it to you scrolled up. I'm definitely working my way through this, but because this was like basically brand new when I put this in here, it's obviously taking me some time, and that's absolutely fine because I don't mind using this every single day. So this will stay, and let's see how far I can get through this in the next 30 days. Another item that will stay in here, and I think I've made some good progress with it, is the Wet n Wild Mega Glow Highlighting Powder. Still stand by this. I actually quite like the product, but the packaging is broken. So I just want to get this finished because, like, why am I keeping a broken product in my life? So this is where we're at. You can see the little, like, pat in the middle is slowly expanding. And yeah, like, this is on my eyes today. It's obviously on my cheek. I kind of, like, lather my face in this, and, like, I'm hoping eventually it will mean that it will be finished. And then I finished the setting spray. So the Beauty Crop Cocoa Aloe Mist setting spray is now completely finished. I have the same opinion about this that I've had since I started using it. It's a good setting spray in the fact that your makeup like sits on your face beautifully. Wouldn't say it's the best at elongating the life of your makeup. I think for that this kind of is a little bit lackluster, but if you put too much powder on your face and your face looks a little bit like like these two things go really well together, you know? So I'm gonna replace this with a favourite, which you've already met. And it's because the other two that I have in my collection, one is in a opaque bottle because it's the Urban Decay, and one is brand new. So I might as well use up the old one. You know, I adore this so much. This is actually gonna be a really nice thing to have in my Project 10 pan because I just love it. This is how far we are through, and yeah, let's see how far we can get through this in the next 30 days, but this is not going to be a chore. Like, I'm actually really happy and excited to use this every day. It's like when the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer was in it at the beginning of the year. I have no complaints. I'm actually like buzzing to use this every day. We've then got what's becoming the shortest and smallest lip pencil I've ever seen in my entire life. This is the NYX Shine Loud lip pencil in the shade Ambition Statement. Like, it's getting so small. I actually kind of want to see how far through this I can get. Like, at some point the pencil's not going to fit in the lid, and I'm kind of looking forward to that moment. So very, very close. I'm going to keep using it because I'm so close to finishing it. It's kind of like, I'm excited, you know? We then got the Beauty Bay Cosmetics Liner Palette, which I really haven't used much this month. I put this in here as an encouragement for me to use it more. I definitely have used it more since it's been in Project 10 pan. Have I used it loads? Absolutely not. So I do think I want to like swap this out because I'm kind of bored of forcing myself to use it. And I'm actually going to swap this out for something I just want to use up. I'm like months away now from moving out of this flat and moving to a house. So I now want to get into like crazy use up stuff mode, you know? So I've got a couple of favourite powders, which I've obviously told you about, but I've also got some like other powders that I have in my life. And one of them is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Brightening Flawless Finish Complexion Perfecting Eye and Face Micro Powder. Whew, that is a name. And I have used a little bit of this. You can see like a little dent forming, but I kind of just want to like finish this up, get this out of my life, just have like favourites and like ride or dies left. So I've got 4 powders in total. 2 I love, 2 I'm like, I like them but I don't love them, and I think this is the first one I'm gonna try and use up. So it's a new category. I'm excited. Let's see how far I can get through my Charlotte Tilbury setting powder. And the last project in Project 10 pan before we get on to the 3 makeup items that I finished It is the fragrance. So this is the Lacoste fragrance I've had since I was at university. I bought this when I worked in Superdrug, so I've had this quite a long time. I mean, I know you can have fragrances for a lot longer than you can have makeup items, but it's still the oldest fragrance that I own, and I do love it. Like, it is actually a really nice fragrance, but I just want to see if I can finish it up. So this is where we're at. A pretty decent usage, just over halfway through, so I'm gonna keep using this. So I'm gonna pop all the, I'm gonna give you the empties first and then pop all the products and round the video up. So the 3 products I finished up in this month are, this is the Maybelline Perfecta 4-in-1 Whipped Matte Makeup. This to me gives me, oh, what was that? Dream Matte Mousse foundation vibes, but like an updated version, like a more modern version of it. Like it's a really moussey texture. It's not as heavy or as grim as the Dream Matte Mousse foundation, but it's a very similar texture and vibe. It hasn't got the best coverage. Like, it's very much a kind of like tinted balm, kind of moisturizer-y type like coverage. I didn't hate this. I didn't love it. Like, I used it up, like I finished the bottle, but it's definitely not a favorite. If I wanted a more kind of like light coverage option, I would use my Rose Inc Skin Enhanced Luminous Tinted Serum. 100% over this. So I'm not going to rebuy this, but I have finished it up. So there you go. Another product I finished is a brow pencil. I can't believe this is the first brow pencil I finished this year, and we're at the end of May. What have I not been wearing brows? Like, I think it's because I've been flitting between like 4 or 5 brow pencils. But this is the Kosas Brow Pop brow pencil. I feel this way about most brow pencils. It does the job. I like it. I don't really know what else to say, Ran. I mean, it's a good colour. It's a relatively thick nib, like it wasn't like a super fine one, so if you don't really like the really fine nibs, then you'll prefer this. The packaging's kind of fun. It's got a spoolie. And then the third product I finished is a lip product. It's like a tinted lip balm. This is the NARS Afterglow Lip Balm in the shade Dolce Vita. I have actually repurchased this. Where is it? In this one? Yeah. I have actually repurchased this because it's one of my favourite products that I own. This is a teeny one. I've repurchased the full size. Haven't actually started using this one yet, but I finished the baby. It's also covered in oil for some reason. How exciting. So let's pop everything back in a little tub. This is for like the best way of doing this. I feel like I'm gonna drop something, but you know, live life on the edge. There you go. Project 10 pan. The products I'm trying to use up for the next month, all in this little container, which is very exciting. So I'm excited for the new categories, the new products. It does feel like a slight refresh, which I feel like I haven't had in a few months. Loads of new products all at once because, oh, regrets. I finished up so many products this month. I'm actually kind of proud of myself. All different categories and all finished. Obviously check in next month and you'll see how I've got on with some of these products. So yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, click subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!